Hello, Wes here. I have a question for you today. Are you meditation challenged? And what I mean by that is when you want to enter a meditative state, do you have difficulty getting there? If your answer is yes, that's really not much of a surprise. In a fast-paced world like the one we live in today, it can be really difficult to get out of that ego mind, out of that monkey mind that occupies so much of our attention. So what I want to talk to you about today is a technique that involves two breaths for changing your consciousness from ordinary waking consciousness into a deep meditative state. Many people spend a lot of time struggling to try and quiet their mind, to quiet their thoughts. What this technique enables you to do is get into a calm, centered state reliably and quickly. This is actually an ancient technique, and it still has relevance for modern minds. Traditional cultures developed ways of altering their consciousness to be able to deal with extreme physical conditions. Often these are dismissed as myths or capabilities that the gurus had that are long forgotten now, or sometimes just something that happened to a friend of a friend of a friend. But they're true, and we can gain access to them still. My primary teacher was Tom Brown Jr. I learned these ways from him on the shamanic path that I was following with him. He was taught by an Apache shaman known as Stalking Wolf. Stalking Wolf earned his name by touching a wild wolf while it was sleeping without it ever knowing that he was approaching. That's an extraordinary skill. For the Apache people, physical survival depended on highly developed skills such as being able to track animals and humans, or use edible and medicinal plants, or creating tools from plants and wood and bone and stone. Their abilities also extended past the physical. There were times when they needed capacities that go way beyond the ordinary physical power of a human being, such as extreme strength or speed, or the ability to withstand extreme cold or extreme pain. These breathing techniques helped them to do that. The same techniques, and from somewhat the same state of mind, were used by the shamans, and they used them to enter what we would call a deep meditative state. This breathing technique has three major advantages. The first advantage is that it can be practiced anywhere. You don't need a special room or necessarily quiet circumstances or a special cushion that you sit on. The second one is that it is very fast. With practice, it becomes almost instantaneous. And the third one is that it doesn't require any specific posture or movement. You don't even have to have your hands free. And I guess I could add one more, and that is that all of these things allow you to fit it seamlessly into your daily life. Physical emergencies are rare in modern life, but the ability to enter a deep and focused meditative state has increasing value in a world that has more and more distractions in it. This technique is a practical and powerful one for that. How you master the shift? There are two breaths. We call them the stillness breath and the centering breath. And I will describe those in a free guided meditation that I've developed that's available to you at no charge. I use a shamanic drum beat to guide the meditation. And initially, the first time you do it, it takes about 6 minutes. After that, mastery comes with practice. There's a saying from sports, which I like, and it is first you get good, then you get fast. First, you learn the technique, then you get very quick and highly skilled with it. The same thing applies here. Eventually, the two breaths will merge into one, and then you will get to a point where you don't need the breath at all. That is the point at which you have mastered it. And I like to think of it as that feeling that you get when you've been away from home and you're coming back. You know the route, you know how to get there, and maybe even more importantly, you know the feeling of being home. This breathing practice is like that. Once you know how to get there, you go to the feeling. You don't have to go through the motions. The free meditation is available on request. You just have to punch the button wherever it happens to be. Now I'm going to offer you a tongue-in-cheek word of caution. This technique is powerful, and like any altered state practice, it requires mindfulness. Don't do this while you're driving or operating heavy machinery, as the caution goes. You don't want to have an accident, And you don't want to be in a serious conversation and then have people wondering why you just suddenly went into some sort of blissed out state and forgot what you were talking about. As I said, it's a bit tongue in cheek. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful day.